Solitary dragons are said to love collecting treasures. But for Shinku, those treasures were never meant to be kept to herself. They were proof that, one day, she could return to the friends she cared about. Her name is Shinku, a new member of CSU, 2 under the Bureau of Anomaly Control. Her Esper ability is called Moonlit Crimson Dragon. It grants her power and physical capabilities, reminiscent of a Western dragon. In official records, Shinku is described as a cold, distant type, who's used to keeping people at arm's length. To her colleagues, Shinku is polite and reliable, but there is always a distance in that politeness. Not just at work, even in daily life, Shinku keeps the same distance from others. She will show up in the crowd rushing toward DSD to grab the latest mystery box. She will sit in the packed stands at the finals of the Anomaly Trading Card Championship, chatting with fellow fans about her collection. She does not reject the world, nor does she reject the people in it. But when the crowds clear out, it is always Shinku walking home alone. Living in a bustling city, she never refuses to make contact with others, but she also never lets anyone truly enter her territory. So many people assume she was simply born cold. But Shinku was not always like this. A long time ago, she was just a child who wanted to play with everyone else. She wanted to play dodgeball with her classmates. She wanted to help prepare the school festival performance. She wanted to eat cake, blow out the candles, and sing happy birthday at her classmates' birthday parties. But somehow, she always ended up ruining everything. Deep down, she did not mean to say those things. Yet by the time she came to her senses, her words and actions had already made her classmates angry, or even made them cry. As time passed, as the dragon horns on her head slowly grew, she began waking up more and more often at night from the pain. And with that pain, the moments where she lost control became more and more frequent. She hated that version of herself. After ruining everything once again, Shinku walked alone along the beach, kicking away the little stones in her path. Her vision was already blurry with tears, but someone came looking for her.
Shinku! Found ya! I knew you'd be here!
The girl handed her a shell with a sad little face on it and said,
Doesn't every evil dragon in a story have their own stash of treasures? That dragon who loves picking fights with everyone should have some too. So from now on, every time you get into a fight with someone, collect something fun. That way, once you finally defeat the evil dragon, you can share its stash with everyone.
That was right. If she could not stop herself from messing things up, then at the very least, she could still apologize. She could still make up for it. And so, starting with that shell with the sad little face on it, Shinku began her treasure hunt. What she collected were not just ordinary little objects. They were reasons that, one day, she might be able to return to everyone's side. But before that day could arrive, a heavy rain changed her life forever. Even now, Shinku still finds herself thinking back to that rainy night. The world turned upside down, figures in black suits rising out of puddles, her friends' terrified cries for help. And then, her memory became a blur. To protect her friend, Shinku released her power for the first time. She managed to fight off those anomalies. But the rampage that followed caused no small amount of damage. It even swept up the very friend she had wanted to protect. She had tried to protect someone, but in the end, she still hurt them. After that rain, Shinku chose to leave Hetero. She joined the Bureau of Anomaly Control and trained under her mentor in another city, at CSU 9. At the same time, to keep the same tragedy from happening again, Shinku began keeping everyone at a distance. She chose to face everything alone. And so, the determined dragonling began to grow. Shinku's Esper ability significantly boosts her reaction speed and physical strength. In the early days at the Bureau, that combat power helped her adapt quickly to containment work. But her control was still immature. Going berserk became a problem she had no choice but to face. Every time she came back to her senses and saw the mess she had caused, Shinku would sink into a dark mood. But she was never the kind of person who only trapped herself in self-blame. Shinku was biased toward action, so after every rampage, she would go back to the site of the incident to help with reconstruction and cleanup. For that purpose, she made herself a helmet with holes on both sides, so her horns could pass through. That way, she could meet the safety requirements for entering construction sites. Again and again, she returned to the ruins, trying, with her own hands, to repair the damage she had caused. And at CSU 9, Shinku met many people. Tempest, who once frowned and called her a rude brat, would later happily take her out for ice cream during field assignments. Ray would deliberately come crack jokes when Shinku locked herself in her room, blaming herself for losing control. Her senior sister always kept a straight face during training and never held back when Shinku made mistakes. But on missions, she would always stand in front of her. And her mentor, who never said much out loud, never once forgot her birthday. Without them, Shinku might have stayed in her room forever, drowning in regret. But how was she supposed to answer all that concern and goodwill? Looking at the worry in her mentors' and teammates' eyes, Shinku believed there could only be one reason. She was still not independent enough, still not strong enough. So day after day, she kept working toward that goal. Until one day, her mentor handed her a set of transfer papers, and Shinku's heart, which had only just learned to stand on its own, began to ripple once again. She was being transferred back to Hetero, to the Bureau's headquarters, to CSU-2. After arriving at CSU-2, Shinku met two new teammates she had no choice but to get used to. The first was Mint, someone who somehow invalidated every trick Shinku had for keeping her distance. Putting on a cold face did not work. Making excuses did not work. The more Shinku tried to keep their relationship in a safe place, the more Mint approached her like a friendly cat, simply because she wanted to be there. On the surface, Shinku seemed irritated, but if she were being honest, she did not hate it. The other was Uniroi. After their first mission together, Shinku understood exactly why she had been transferred to CSU-2. Because the sheep had the ability to bring her back from going berserk. It should have been good news. For the first time, Shinku no longer had to worry constantly about hurting her teammates the way she had before. But she could not accept Oniroi the same way she accepted Mint. Because Iroi was hiding herself. She was not showing her true self. And in her, Shinku saw another version of herself. Someone who also hid who she really was. Someone who also refused to let others come too close. But no matter what, the lone wolf style Shinku had once tried so hard to maintain began to melt under the presence of those two. After a gathering she had taken the initiative to arrange, Shinku finally made up her mind to do something she should have done long ago. She took out her phone and hesitated for a long time. Then, at last, she called that number. Over the phone, Shinku told the friend she had once tried to protect and ended up hurting that she was back. At that moment, the girl who had been trapped in that rainy night for so long finally saw the bright, warm sunlight of the day. She is still cautious. She is still not good at letting others get close. But she has learned to control her power. And finally, she can return to her friend's side, carrying all the treasures she has collected. As for that helmet with holes on both sides, it has not been needed for a long time.